My brother stood beside me at my wedding 2 years ago. He gave a speech about family, about loyalty, about how lucky Amanda was to marry a man who knew what those words meant. Last Tuesday, I watched hotel security footage of him crawling into bed with my wife at 2 in the morning. The laptop sits open on my desk. The video is paused on frame 247. Chris's hand on her hotel room door, Amanda's silhouette visible through the gap, reaching for him. Behind my laptop, there's a photo from our wedding. Chris has his hand on my shoulder. He's smiling like he means it. When the betrayal comes from inside your own blood, is there any such thing as family left to save? I hit play. The timestamp reads 2:14 a.m. He doesn't knock. She's been waiting. The door closes behind him at 2:16 a.m. It doesn't open again until 7:03 a.m. when he leaves in yesterday's clothes, looking both ways down the hallway before he walks toward the elevator. I scroll back through the file list. There are 5 more videos, 5 more nights, 5 more mornings where Chris checked the hallway and walked away from my wife's hotel room while I was at home, making breakfast for his niece, believing he was at a work conference in Atlanta. And that's when I saw the timestamp on the first file, March 15th. This wasn't the first night. 3 months ago, before Miami, before I knew any of this, we had dinner at my house, just the 4 of us. Amanda made her lasagna, the one Chris always requests. Lily, my 6-year-old daughter, sat at the kids' end of the table with her iPad, drawing while the adults talked. "So, the promotion's official?" Chris asked, cutting into his second helping. He wore the watch I'd given him that afternoon, silver engraved on the back, to my brother. "Official as of Monday," I said. "You've earned it. Vice President of Operations. Mom and Dad would be proud." Our parents died when Chris was 14. Car accident, black ice, gone in an instant. I was 22, barely out of college, suddenly responsible for a kid brother who couldn't look at me without crying. I raised him, paid for his college, gave him his first real job at my company, stood beside him at his graduation, his first apartment, every milestone. He reached across the table, squeezed my shoulder. "I don't deserve this, Michael. I don't deserve you." Amanda smiled at us from the kitchen doorway. "You too," she said, and her voice had that warm edge it gets when she's moved by something. "You're what family is supposed to look like." Chris glanced at her, held her gaze for just a second too long. I didn't notice it then. Lily brought her iPad to the table. "Look, Daddy, I drew us." The picture showed our dining room, the 4 of us around the table, me, Amanda, Chris. Lily had drawn herself too, but separate. Her little figure sat in the corner of the frame, watching the others. Everyone at the table was smiling. Lily in the corner held a crayon, observing. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," I said, "but why'd you put yourself all the way over there?" She shrugged, already swiping to a new blank canvas. "I don't know. That's just where I was." Amanda's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, and something in her expression softened, a smile, quick and private. She turned the phone face down on the counter. Across from me, Chris cut another bite of lasagna, eyes on his plate. Two weeks later, Amanda brought it up over morning coffee. "Madison's getting married," she said. She stood by the kitchen window, backlit by early sun. "Her bachelorette party is in Miami. She's asking if I can make it." I looked up from my laptop. Work email, always work email. "When?" "Week after next. Thursday through Monday, long weekend." She turned, leaned against the counter. "I know it's short notice." "You should go," I said. "When's the last time you did something just for you?" "Are you sure? I hate leaving you with Lily for 4 days." "Lily and I will be fine. We'll build a blanket for it, eat pizza for every meal. She'll love it." Amanda crossed the kitchen, wrapped her arms around my neck from behind. "Have I told you lately that you're the best husband in the world?" "Not since yesterday." I tilted my head back, kissed her chin. Go, have fun. Madison needs you. She kissed the top of my head. I love you, Michael. I love you too. The flight confirmation came through that night, forwarded from her email to our shared calendar. Miami, March 15th through March 19th. I clicked through to her inbox, not snooping, just checking details, making sure she had everything she needed. There was Madison's group text with the other bridesmaids, excited messages about cocktails and beach clubs, and one last wild weekend before Madison becomes Mrs. Bradley. I checked Madison's Instagram the next morning while Amanda packed. Recent post, a photo of her engagement ring with a caption counting down to the big day. 47 days until I marry my best friend. 47 days. Middle of April. Not last weekend. If you've ever ignored a gut feeling because you wanted to trust someone, you know that moment when something doesn't add up, but you talk yourself out of it. You tell yourself you miscounted. You tell yourself people get engaged and married fast these days. You tell yourself your wife wouldn't lie about something like this. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. I walked Amanda to the door Thursday morning. She had her carry-on, her purse, her neck pillow. She kissed me like she meant it, long, deep, her hand on my cheek. I love you, she said. Be safe, have fun. Text me when you land. I will. I watched her car pull out of the driveway. Lily stood beside me, waving. Amanda waved back, blew us a kiss. She was smiling. I wonder if she meant it that morning. She came home Monday night, different. I knew it the second she walked through the door. The way she set her suitcase down, fast, like it was evidence she needed to hide. The way she wouldn't meet my eyes when I tried to kiss her hello. How was it? I asked. Great, exhausting. You know how it is. She moved past me toward the stairs. I need a shower. Want help unpacking? No, I've got it. Lily appeared in the hallway, still in her pajamas, holding her iPad. Mommy, I missed you. Amanda's face shifted, softened into something that looked like guilt. She crouched down, pulled Lily into a hug. I missed you too, baby. Did you have fun with Daddy? We built a fort and watched movies, and Daddy let me have ice cream for breakfast. Lily held up her iPad. Look, I drew you. The drawing showed Amanda, but the colors were all wrong. Dark blues and grays. Amanda's figure stood alone, no smile. That's lovely, sweetie, Amanda said. She glanced at me, then away. I need to shower. I'll be down in a bit. She took her suitcase upstairs. I heard the bathroom door lock. The shower ran for 30 minutes. When she came down, she'd washed her hair twice. I could smell the shampoo from across the room. That night, I tried to kiss her, really kiss her, the way we used to, before bed. She turned her head. I'm just tired, she said. Long flight, you know. But her eyes looked terrified. I waited until she was asleep, went downstairs, opened my laptop, found Madison's Facebook page again, scrolled through her recent photos. There it was, a post from March 16th, Madison and her fiancé at some restaurant toasting with champagne. The caption read, 30 days until the wedding. Can't wait to celebrate with my girls at the bachelorette party next month. Next month, not last weekend. My hands were shaking. I pulled up our credit card statement, searched for charges from March 15th through 19th. There was the airline ticket, Amanda's name, round trip to Miami. There was a hotel charge, the Fontaine, South Beach, $1,847 for 4 nights. And there, 2 lines below it, another charge from the same hotel, the Fontaine, South Beach. Same dates. $1,392 booked under Johnson, C. Chris Johnson. I sat there in the dark, staring at the screen, and something in my chest cracked open. Chris was supposed to be at a work conference in Atlanta. That's what he'd told me. That's what he'd told everyone at the office. I picked up my phone, dialed the Fontaine. Good evening, Fontaine Hotel. This is Derek speaking. Hi, yes, I'm calling about a guest who stayed with you recently. My wife, She thinks she left an item in the room. Amanda Johnson? One moment, sir. Keys clicking. Yes, Mrs. Johnson, room 804. Checked out March 19th. What item are we looking for? Just her earrings, I think. Can you confirm the room number? She's not sure if she was in 804 or... Definitely 804, sir. A pause. Would you like me to check with the gentleman who was with her? We could ask if he noticed. My throat closed. The gentleman? Yes, sir. I see here that more typing. Oh, I apologize. I'm showing two separate rooms now. Mrs. Johnson in 804 and a Mr. Johnson in 627. Both reservations, both under the name Johnson. Is there a problem, sir? The hotel manager paused. Sir, are you still there? I hung up. It took me 2 days to decide. 2 days of watching Amanda move through our house like a ghost, jumpier every time her phone buzzed. 2 days of Chris at the office, asking how Amanda's trip was, smiling when I said she had a great time. 2 days of wondering if I really wanted to know. On Wednesday, I called the Fontaine again, asked for the security manager, explained that I was Amanda Johnson's husband, that there had been some suspicious activity on our credit card, that I needed to verify who had accessed her room during her stay. Sir, I can't just hand over security footage. I understand. What if I came in person, showed ID, proof of marriage, proof that it's my credit card that paid for the room? Silence. Then that would be irregular. I'll pay for your time, whatever you think is fair. Another pause. If you come in person with documentation, I can pull up the hallway footage for the relevant dates. But sir, if there's a legal matter here... There's not. Not yet. I just need to know. I flew to Miami on Friday, brought my driver's license, our marriage certificate, the credit card statement, met with the security manager in a windowless office that smelled like burnt coffee and industrial carpet. He pulled up the files, hallway camera, 8th floor, March 15th through March 19th. How much? I asked. Sir, I shouldn't... How much? 500, cash. I handed it over. He burned the files onto a thumb drive, 6 video files, each labeled by date. I paid $500 for the security footage. The file was labeled Johnson, week of March 15th. There were 6 video files. I didn't watch them in Miami. I waited until I got home, until Amanda took Lily to her piano lesson, until the house was empty except for me and my laptop and the wedding photo on my desk that now felt like a piece of evidence in a crime I didn't want to solve. I opened the first file. March 15th, 11:47 p.m. The hallway was empty. Beige walls, patterned carpet, harsh overhead lighting. For 2 minutes, nothing happened. Then Amanda appeared, coming from the direction of the elevators. She wore the black dress I'd helped her pick out for the trip. She walked to room 804, used her keycard when inside. At 11:52 p.m., Chris stepped into the frame. He looked both ways, checked his phone, walked to room 804, knocked twice. Amanda opened the door. She didn't look surprised. She smiled, that same private smile from the kitchen, the night her phone buzzed at dinner, and pulled him inside by his shirt. The door closed. I sat there, frozen. My hand hovered over the mouse. I could stop. I could delete these files. I could choose not to know. I clicked on the next file. March 16th, 2:14 a.m. Chris left room 627, his room, the one he'd booked 2 floors away, and walked to room 804. He didn't knock this time. The door opened before he reached it. Amanda stood in the doorway wearing one of the hotel robes. He said something I couldn't hear. She laughed. He went inside. The timestamp advanced, 7:03 a.m. The door opened. Chris emerged wearing yesterday's clothes, hair messy, looking both ways down the hall before heading back toward his room. I clicked the next file. Same pattern, different night. And the next file, same. And the next. I watched him enter her room at 2:14 a.m. He didn't leave until 7:03 a.m., and then I clicked Next File. There were 4 more nights. I didn't confront her, not yet, because watching those videos, I realized something. I didn't know the depth of this. I didn't know if it was just Miami or if it went deeper. I didn't know if the baby Amanda told me was mine 2 months ago was actually mine. I needed to know everything before I said a word. Monday morning, I hired a private investigator. Her name was Patricia Reynolds, mid-50s former police detective, came highly recommended by my divorce attorney. Yes, I'd already called a divorce attorney. That's what you do when you watch your brother leave your wife's hotel room 5 mornings in a row. Patricia met me at a coffee shop 3 blocks from my office. She wore reading glasses on a chain and carried a leather portfolio that looked older than I was. Before we start, she said, I need to ask, are you sure you want to do this? Because once I start digging, you can't unknown what I find. I'm sure. All right. She pulled out a legal pad. Tell me everything. I told her about Miami, about Chris, about the credit card charges and the security footage, and Amanda's behavior since she got home. I told her about the watch I'd given Chris, about raising him after our parents died, about standing beside him at every important moment of his life. Patricia took notes without looking up. When I finished, she set down her pen. How long have they known each other? Chris and Amanda, since we started dating, almost 4 years. And the affair, do you know when it started? The footage only goes back to March, but I don't know if Miami was the beginning or just the most recent chapter. Patricia nodded. I'll need access to phone records if possible. Any shared accounts, credit cards, passwords you might have. I'll also need Chris's address. He lives downtown, apartment 4B at the Sterling. Good. She closed her portfolio. Give me 1 week. I'll have preliminary findings. But Mr. Johnson, I need to prepare you. If this affair has been going on longer than Miami, there will be evidence. And evidence means details. Are you ready for details? The text messages went back 14 months. The first one said, I can't stop thinking about you. Patricia delivered her report exactly 7 days later. A manila folder 2 inches thick dropped on my kitchen table while Amanda was upstairs putting Lily to bed. You should sit down for this, Patricia said. I sat. She opened the folder. Inside, printed text messages, hundreds of them. Screenshots organized by date, highlighted in yellow and pink. Bank statements, photographs, a timeline spreadsheet with dates and locations cross-referenced. The affair started 14 months ago, Patricia said. She pulled out the first page of text messages. April of last year, 2 months after you promoted him to VP. I stared at the date. April 23rd, last year. Chris's message to Amanda. Last night changed everything. I know we said it was a mistake, but I can't stop thinking about you. Amanda's response. Me too, but we can't. Michael would never forgive either of us. Chris. I know, you're right. I just needed you to know. 3 days later, another exchange. Amanda. Are you working late tonight? Chris. I can be. Amanda. Michael has that conference call until 8. I could stop by your office. Chris. Door will be unlocked. Patricia flipped through more pages. It escalated quickly. By June, they were meeting 2, sometimes 3 times a week. Your office, his apartment, hotels when they wanted to be careful. She pulled out a stack of credit card receipts. These are from a joint account they opened in August. See the signatures? Amanda's handwriting, Chris's handwriting, both on an application for a Chase account under the names Amanda Miller and Chris Johnson. Amanda's maiden name. They have a joint bank account? Had. They closed it 2 weeks ago, right after Miami. Probably got nervous. Patricia slid another document across the table. This is more concerning. It was a lease agreement for an apartment at Harborview Towers, Unit 9.12, signed by Chris Johnson, co-signed by Amanda Miller. Amanda has been going to this apartment for the past 10 months, Patricia said. Building security shows her coming and going an average of 4 times a week. She has her own key, clothes in the closet, toiletries in the bathroom. According to the doorman I spoke with, she tells people she's Chris's fiancé. The room tilted. Fiancé? I'm sorry, Michael. I flipped through more text messages. They were all there. Every I love you. Every I can't wait until we can stop hiding. Every plan they made for after the divorce, after they were free, after they didn't have to pretend anymore. Chris, 3 months ago. I hate watching you go home to him every night. Amanda. I know, baby. Soon. I promise. We just need to be smart about this. Chris. How much longer? Amanda. I'm working on it. Let me handle Michael. You just love me. Chris. I've never loved anyone the way I love you. I set the papers down. My hands were shaking so hard the text messages blurred. Patricia slid the final folder across the table. You should sit down for this one. I was already sitting, but I understood what she meant. She opened the folder slowly, like she was defusing a bomb. Inside was a printed email draft, never sent, dated 6 weeks ago, from Amanda to Chris. Subject line, Our Little Secret. The email contained a video attachment. Patricia had printed a still frame from the video. Amanda in a bathroom, morning light through a window, holding a pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. I found this in her draft folder, Patricia said quietly. She never sent it to him, but the video exists. Do you want to see it? Yes. Patricia opened her laptop, turned it toward me, pressed play. Amanda appeared on screen, early morning, hair messy from sleep. She was in our bathroom. I recognized the tile, the mirror, the window behind her. She held a pregnancy test in one hand, her phone in the other. Baby, she said to the camera, and her voice broke with emotion. Baby, it's yours. I know it is. I can feel it. She touched her stomach. We're going to be a family, just like you wanted. I promise you. The video cut off. I sat there staring at the frozen image. Amanda's face lit with joy, her hand on her stomach. When did she tell you she was pregnant? Patricia asked. 2 months ago, March 1st. And she said it was yours? She said... My voice cracked. She said it was our miracle, that we'd been trying for so long. Patricia pulled up another document. Medical records obtained from Amanda's OBGYN through what I assumed were not entirely legal channels. According to her medical records, she's 16 weeks pregnant. Conception window was mid-December to early January. We had sex during that window, I said, multiple times. It could be mine. It could be. Patricia's voice was gentle, the way you talk to someone in shock. But according to the building security logs, Amanda spent 4 nights at Chris's apartment during that same window, including New Year's Eve when you told me you were at a work event. I remembered that night. Amanda said she was tired, wasn't feeling well, told me to go alone. I came home at 11:30 to find her asleep in bed. She told him the baby was his. She told me the baby was mine. One of us is about to have our heart ripped out. Maybe both of us. I spent that night reading every text message, all 14 months, watching them fall in love in real time, watching Amanda plan our divorce while kissing me goodbye every morning, watching Chris ask when she was going to leave me, and Amanda telling him, soon, baby, soon, I just need to time it right. There was one exchange from 3 weeks ago that made me close the laptop and walk away. Chris, do you ever feel guilty? Amanda, about what? Chris, Michael, everything he's done for me, for us. Amanda, baby, you can't think like that. Michael doesn't own you just because he raised you. You're allowed to live your own life. You're allowed to be happy. Chris, but he's my brother. Amanda, and I'm going to be the mother of your child. Who matters more? I stood in my office at 2 a.m, staring at those words, and understood that I'd already lost both of them. Not to the affair. I lost them the moment they justified it. The next evening, I came home early. Amanda was in the living room, reading. Lily sat at the coffee table with her iPad, drawing. "Hey," Amanda said, looking up. She'd been warmer lately, less jumpy. I think she thought she'd gotten away with it, that Miami was safely in the past. "You're home early." "Slow day." I set down my briefcase, walked over to Lily. "What are you drawing, sweetheart?" "Just stuff." She didn't look up. "Can I see?" "I guess." She handed me the iPad. The current drawing showed 3 figures, a man, a woman, a baby. They were holding hands, standing in front of a house. The man had dark hair like Chris. The woman looked like Amanda. "That's beautiful," I said carefully. "Who's this?" "Just people." "What people?" Lily shrugged. "Daddy, Uncle Chris, and the baby." The room went still. Amanda set down her book. "Lily, honey, what baby?" "The baby that's coming. The one Mommy told Uncle Chris about." I looked at Amanda. Her face had gone white. "Lily," I said slowly, "how do you know Mommy told Uncle Chris about the baby?" "I heard them talking at Uncle Chris's apartment. Mommy said she was having a baby, and Uncle Chris got really happy and picked her up and spun her around." Lily smiled at the memory, still coloring. "He said he was going to be the best daddy ever." My hands were shaking. "When were you at Uncle Chris's apartment?" "Lots of times. Mommy takes me there after school sometimes. Uncle Chris has the Lego set I wanted, so I play with Legos while Mommy and Uncle Chris are in the bedroom." Amanda stood up. "Lily, why don't you go upstairs and wait?" I held up a hand. My voice came out cold, controlled. "Lily, honey, can I see your other drawings? All of them?" Lily's finger hovered over her iPad. "Like all my old ones too?" "Yes, all of them." She swiped to her gallery. Dozens of drawings, hundreds maybe. She'd been using this app for almost a year. "Can Daddy look through them?" "Okay." She handed me the iPad. I sat down on the couch. Amanda stood frozen by the window. I started scrolling, drawing from 2 weeks ago, 3 figures in a park. Amanda and Chris holding hands, ice cream cones, Lily off to the side on a swing. Drawing from a month ago, Amanda and Chris at a table, Lily across from them. Caption in Lily's careful lettering, "Family dinner." Drawing from 6 weeks ago, Amanda and Chris close together, their foreheads touching. Lily in the corner, watching. She'd titled this one, "Secret." Drawing from 2 months ago, Chris giving Amanda flowers. Lily in the background. Drawing from 3 months ago, Amanda kissing Chris's cheek. Lily had drawn herself with her back turned, walking away. I kept scrolling, further back, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. Every single drawing told the same story. Amanda and Chris together. Lily watching from the edges, drawing what she saw, not understanding what it meant, just drawing pretty moments, happy moments. She'd been witnessing their affair for 9 months. My daughter had been watching my wife and my brother fall in love, and she drew it because she didn't know it was wrong. She thought it was beautiful. Drawing number 4 was titled "Secret." Amanda and Chris behind a tree. Lily had drawn herself in the corner, watching, colored pencil in hand. I looked up at Amanda. She was crying, but they weren't sad tears. They were trapped animal tears. "Lily," I said gently, "can you go upstairs for a few minutes? Daddy needs to talk to Mommy." Did I do something wrong? The question broke me. This 6-year-old girl asking if she did something wrong. "No, baby, no." I pulled her into my lap. "You didn't do anything wrong. You never did anything wrong. Your drawings are beautiful. You're very good at seeing things. Do you understand?" Lily looked at me with those wide, innocent eyes. "Daddy, why are you crying?" I was crying. I hadn't realized. "Because I'm proud of you," I whispered. "Because you're the bravest, most honest person I know." She hugged me, small arms around my neck, iPad still clutched in one hand. "I'm going to go upstairs now," she said. "Don't be sad, okay?" "Okay, baby." She climbed off my lap, gathered her iPad and her crayons, and left the room. We listened to her footsteps on the stairs, the sound of her bedroom door closing. Then I looked at Amanda. How long has she known? She doesn't know. She's 6. She doesn't understand. She understands that you've been lying to me for 14 months. She understands that you take her to Chris's apartment and tell her to play in the living room while you... I couldn't finish the sentence. She drew it, Amanda. She drew all of it. Every secret meeting, every kiss, every moment you thought no one was watching. She was watching. Michael, does Chris know about the drawings? No. God, no. I didn't realize she was paying attention. I laughed. It came out harsh, broken. She's always paying attention. That's what kids do. They watch. They learn. They draw what they see. I held up the iPad, and she saw her mother in love with someone who isn't her father. Amanda sank into a chair. I'm sorry. Which part are you sorry for? The affair? The lies? Using our daughter as an alibi? Or are you sorry that I found out? She didn't answer. The baby, I said, is it mine? Silence. Amanda, is it mine? I don't know. The words hung in the air between us. You don't know. The timing, it could be either... Get out. Michael, please, get out of my house. My voice was shaking. Pack a bag. Go to Chris. Go to your mother. Go to hell. I don't care. But you're not sleeping in this house tonight. What about Lily? Lily stays with me. You lost the right to make decisions about Lily the moment you used her as cover for your affair. Amanda stood, started to say something, stopped, walked upstairs. I sat on the couch holding Lily's iPad and thought, if you have kids, you know that moment when you realize you failed to protect them from something. Drop a heart if you've been there. 20 minutes later, Amanda came down with a suitcase. She didn't look at me, just walked to the door, opened it, left. I heard her car start, heard it pull out of the driveway. Then I went upstairs, knocked on Lily's door. Come in. She was in bed reading a picture book. She looked up when I entered. Is Mommy okay? I sat on the edge of her bed. Mommy's going to stay somewhere else for a little while. Because of my drawings? No, baby. Because of choices Mommy made. Not because of you. Never because of you. Is she coming back? I don't know. Lily was quiet for a long moment. Then, Daddy, can I tell you a secret? Of course. Sometimes when Mommy and Uncle Chris thought I wasn't looking, they would hold hands. And Mommy looked happy. Happier than when she was with you. She paused. Does that make me bad? That I didn't tell you? I pulled her close. No, sweetheart, that doesn't make you bad. That makes you a little girl who wanted her mommy to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. Are you going to be okay? 6 years old, and she was worried about me. Yeah, baby. We're going to be okay, you and me. We're going to be just fine. She hugged me tight. When I left her room, I had one more call to make. Chris answered on the second ring. Hey, what's up? We need to talk. Tonight, come to the office, 9 o'clock. Mike, is everything... 9 o'clock. Don't be late. I hung up. He arrived at 8:57. I watched him from my office window, parking his car, checking his reflection in the glass door, walking into the building like he had every right to be there, like he hadn't spent 14 months destroying everything I'd built. I met him in the conference room, the one with the long table and the projector and the windows overlooking downtown, the room where I'd promoted him to VP, where I'd thrown him a surprise birthday party, where I'd told him I was proud of him, that our parents would be proud. He walked in smiling. Hey, you sounded weird on the phone. Everything okay? I closed the door behind him, locked it. Sit down. His smile faded. Mike, sit down. He sat. I opened my laptop, pulled up the first file, the security footage from the Fontaine, turned the screen toward him. Do you want to tell me what this is, or should I just play it? Chris's face went white. Where did you get that? I hit play. We watched in silence, watched him knock on Amanda's door at 11:47 p.m., watched her pull him inside, watched him leave at 7:03 a.m. There are 5 more videos, I said when the first one ended. Would you like to see them all, or can we skip to the part where you explain? Michael, 14 months. My voice was steady, too steady. The text messages go back 14 months. Patricia found them all. Every I love you, every plan you made, every time you met at your apartment while I was at work. Chris put his head in his hands. Lily knows, I continued. Did you know that? My 6-year-old daughter has been drawing pictures of you and Amanda for the past 9 months. She drew you holding hands at the park. She drew you giving Amanda flowers. She drew Amanda kissing you. She titled one of them Secret. I leaned forward. She's been watching you destroy our family, and she drew it because she thought it was beautiful. God, Michael, I'm sorry. Don't. I held up a hand. Don't apologize. Don't tell me you didn't mean for this to happen. Don't insult me by pretending this was some accident. You made a choice. Every single day for 14 months, you chose this. I fell in love with her. You fell in love with my wife. I know. I raised you. My voice was rising now, control slipping. When Mom and Dad died, I was 22 years old. I had my whole life ahead of me. I could have left you with Aunt Margaret. I could have let the state figure it out, but I didn't. I became your parent. I paid for your college. I gave you a job. I gave you everything. I was your father. Chris looked up, tears streaming down his face. You were never my father. You were a kid playing hero. The words hit like a fist. We stared at each other across the conference table. 14 years of raising him. 14 years of sacrificing for him. And this is what he thought. A kid playing hero. Get out, I said quietly. Michael, get out of my office. Get out of my company. You're terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you out. You have 30 minutes to clear your desk. You can't. I can. I'm the CEO. This is my company, and you just admitted to having an affair with the spouse of your direct supervisor, which creates a hostile work environment and violates about 15 different HR policies. So, yes, I can fire you, and I am. Chris stood. She loves me. Amanda loves me. We're going to be together. The baby, I interrupted. Amanda told me it was mine. What did she tell you? He froze. What did she tell you, Chris? She said, his voice was barely a whisper, she said it was mine, that she knew because we were together on New Year's Eve and she could feel it. I pulled out the pregnancy video, the one Patricia had found in Amanda's draft folder. Turned the laptop toward Chris again. She made this for you, 6 weeks ago. Watch. I hit play. Amanda's voice filled the room. Baby, it's yours. I know it is. I can feel it. We're going to be a family, just like you wanted. I promise you. Chris watched, face crumbling. When the video ended, I pulled up my text messages, found the one Amanda had sent me on March 1st. This is what she sent me the same week. We're pregnant, our little miracle. I can't wait to start this next chapter with you. I closed the laptop. She told you the baby was yours. She told me the baby was mine. One of us is about to lose everything. I paused. Maybe both of us. Chris's face went white. She told me you two weren't even sleeping together anymore. She said the baby was definitely mine because... He stopped. Oh God, she played us both. Yeah, I said. She did. We sat in silence. 2 men who'd loved the same woman. 2 men who'd believed her lies. What are you going to do? Chris asked finally. I'm getting a paternity test. Court ordered if necessary. I'm filing for divorce. I'm getting full custody of Lily. I stood. And you're leaving. Not just the company, the city, our family, all of it. Michael, Aunt Margaret, and Uncle David raised you after I left for college. They loved you like a son. Do you think they're going to welcome you home after this? Do you think anyone in this family is going to look at you the same way? I walked to the door, unlocked it. You made your choice. Now you get to live with it. Chris stood slowly. He looked smaller somehow, younger, like the 14-year-old kid I'd taken in after the funeral. I'm sorry, he whispered. I know. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? I looked at him, my brother, the man I'd raised, the man who'd stood beside me at my wedding and promised to always have my back. No, I said, I don't think I will. He walked past me into the hallway. I watched him disappear toward his office, security guard already waiting to escort him out. I closed the conference room door, stood there alone in the space where I'd once celebrated his success. Chris's face went white. She told me you two weren't even sleeping together anymore. She said the baby was definitely mine because... He stopped. Realization crashed over his features like a wave. Oh God, she played us both. I called Sarah Mitchell, the divorce attorney, the next morning. She'd been on retainer since the day I hired Patricia. Now it was time to make it official. I need everything, I told her. Divorce papers, restraining order to keep Chris away from my office and my home. And I need a court-ordered paternity test. Amanda will fight the paternity test, Sarah said. Let her fight. I have 14 months of text messages, security footage, and a 6-year-old's drawings that prove she's been lying about everything. If she wants to claim that baby is mine, she can prove it under oath. All right, I'll file today. But Michael, there's something else you should consider. What? Your family, Chris's guardians, your aunt and uncle. They have a right to know what's happening before this goes public. And it will go public. Divorce filings are public record. If you want to control the narrative, you need to tell them first. She was right. Aunt Margaret and Uncle David had stepped in after my parents died, helped me raise Chris when I was drowning. They'd been at my wedding. They'd been at every birthday, every holiday, every family dinner. They deserve to hear this from me. I called them that night, asked them to come over Saturday afternoon, told them it was important that we needed to talk about Chris. Saturday arrived too fast. I spent the morning with Lily, made pancakes, watched cartoons, pretended everything was normal. She kept asking when Mommy was coming home. I kept saying soon because I didn't know how to tell a 6-year-old that her family was falling apart. At 2 o'clock, Margaret and David arrived. I'd also called Chris and Amanda, told them both to be here. This wasn't a conversation I wanted to have twice. We gathered in the living room, Margaret and David on the couch, confused and worried. Chris in the armchair by the window, looking like he wanted to disappear. Amanda standing by the fireplace, arms crossed, defensive. I stood in the middle of the room with my laptop and a folder full of printed evidence. Thank you for coming, I said. I'm going to show you something. It's not easy to watch, but you need to see it. I opened the laptop, pulled up the security footage from the Fontaine. This is from a hotel in Miami, March 15th through 19th. Amanda told me she was there for a bachelorette party. I hit play. This is what she was actually doing. We watched in silence, watched Amanda open her hotel room door at 11:47 p.m., watched Chris knock, watched her pull him inside, her hand on his shirt, that smile on her face. Margaret made a sound, small, wounded. I let the video play for another minute. Then I stopped it. There are 5 more videos. They follow the same pattern, but Miami wasn't the beginning. I pulled out the printed text messages. The affair started 14 months ago, April of last year. I handed the stack of messages to David. He read the first page, then the second, then handed them to Margaret without a word. They have a joint bank account, I continued. Chris co-signed a lease on an apartment where Amanda has been staying 4 times a week. According to building security, she tells people she's his fiancé. Margaret was crying now, quiet tears running down her face. I pulled out Lily's iPad. And my daughter has been witnessing this affair for 9 months. She drew pictures of them. She thought it was beautiful because she didn't understand what it meant. I showed them the drawings, the park, the flowers, the kiss, the one titled Secret. David's hands were shaking when he set down the text messages. "Chris," Margaret said, her voice breaking, "tell me this isn't true." Chris stared at the floor, said nothing. "Chris." "It's true." His voice was barely audible. "All of it. It's true." Margaret stood up, walked over to him, and slapped him across the face. The sound cracked through the room like a gunshot. "You ungrateful, selfish—" She couldn't finish. Her voice dissolved into sobs. "Michael raised you. He sacrificed everything for you. And this is how you repay him?" Chris touched his cheek where she'd hit him. Tears streamed down his face. David stood. His voice was cold, controlled, the way mine had been in the conference room. "You're not welcome in our home anymore, Christopher. Don't call. Don't visit. You are not our family." "Uncle David, please." "No." David's voice didn't rise. Didn't need to. "You made your choice. Now live with it." I turned to Amanda. She'd been silent through all of this, standing by the fireplace like she was watching a play that didn't concern her. "Do you have anything to say?" I asked. She looked at me. Something in her expression shifted. The mask dropped, and what was underneath was cold, calculating. "You'll never prove that baby isn't yours, Michael." Her voice was steady, confident. "And even if you could, I'll make sure you pay for this child either way. Child support, medical expenses, college. You'll be paying for my choices for the next 18 years. The room went silent. Margaret took a step toward Amanda. "You did this. You destroyed this family. And now you're threatening him?" Amanda smiled. "I'm not threatening anyone. I'm stating facts. Michael is married to me. The baby I'm carrying was conceived during our marriage. Unless he can prove otherwise, and he can't, that makes him the legal father. That's how the law works." "We'll see about that," I said quietly. The court order came through on Monday. Amanda fought it, hired her own lawyer, claimed the test was unnecessary, argued that it violated her privacy. The judge wasn't impressed. "Mrs. Johnson," Judge Patricia Harrison said, looking over her reading glasses, "your husband is requesting a paternity test for a child conceived during your marriage. Given the evidence of an extramarital affair submitted by his attorney, this request is reasonable. The test will be conducted under court supervision. You have 1 week to comply." Amanda's lawyer tried to appeal. The judge denied it. 2 weeks later, I sat in Sarah Mitchell's office, waiting for the results. Amanda was supposed to be there too, but she'd sent her lawyer instead. Chris was somewhere. I didn't know where. Didn't care. Sarah's assistant came in with a sealed envelope. Official medical letterhead, certified results from the DNA testing facility. Sarah opened it, read it, looked up at me. Probability of paternity between Michael Johnson and baby Johnson, 0.00%. The words hung in the air, 0.00%. "There's a second test," Sarah continued, "between Christopher Johnson and baby Johnson. Probability of paternity, 99.7%. The lawyer handed me the paper. I looked at the numbers. Bold, black, undeniable. Michael Johnson, 0.00%. Christopher Johnson, 99.7%. I was free. Lily and I were free. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now?" Sarah smiled, grim, satisfied. "Now we finish the divorce. Amanda has no claim to alimony, no claim to your assets. She committed adultery, lied about paternity, and used your stepdaughter as cover for an affair. Any judge in the state would rule in your favor." "And Lily?" "Full custody. Amanda has no biological connection to Lily, and given her behavior, no court would grant her parental rights." The lawyer handed me the paper. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. I was free. Lily and I were free. The consequences came fast after that, faster than I expected. Chris lost his job. I'd already terminated him, but word spread. Our industry is small. People talk. By the end of the month, every company in a 50-mile radius knew what he'd done. He applied to 6 positions, got 6 rejections. He couldn't afford his apartment without a salary. I heard through Aunt Margaret, who heard through a mutual friend, that he'd moved in with Amanda. They were living in a studio apartment on the east side, the kind of place with thin walls and roaches and a landlord who doesn't fix things. Margaret and David kept their word. Chris wasn't invited to Thanksgiving, wasn't invited to Christmas. When he called David's phone one night, David let it go to voicemail and deleted the message without listening. The family gathering that year was smaller, quieter. Everyone knew what had happened, not because I told them, but because Margaret had. She'd called every relative, every family friend, and told them exactly what Chris had done. "I raised him better than that," she'd said, voice shaking with anger and grief. "We all did, and he chose this." Chris's name became something we didn't say, like a curse word, like invoking him would bring bad luck. Amanda's fallout was different, but just as complete. Her friends disappeared first. Madison, whose fake bachelorette party had been Amanda's alibi, called me 2 weeks after the paternity results came through. "I need you to know I had no idea," Madison said. "She told me she was going to Miami alone, that she needed space to think about your marriage. I didn't know Chris was there. I didn't know any of it." "I believe you. I'm getting married in 3 weeks. Amanda was supposed to be a bridesmaid. I uninvited her. I hope that's okay to tell you." "Madison, you don't need my permission. I know, I wanted you to know that some of us see what she did, and we're not okay with it." Her book club dropped her. Her yoga instructor asked her not to come back after several members complained. Her own parents, her mother called me to apologize, crying, saying she'd raised Amanda better than this. "We're going to help with Lily however we can," Amanda's mother said. "That little girl deserves better. You both do." There was a moment at the grocery store 3 months after everything came out. I was there with Lily buying ingredients for dinner. We turned down the cereal aisle and there was Amanda standing by the cart, visibly pregnant now. We stared at each other. Lily grabbed my hand, didn't say anything. Amanda opened her mouth, closed it. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying. She looked tired, small. I didn't say anything either, just steered Lily around her cart and kept walking. Behind us, I heard Amanda say, "Michael, wait!" I didn't wait. The real reckoning came 6 months after the paternity test. Chris called. I almost didn't answer. His number had been blocked for months, but it came through on a different number, unknown. I picked up thinking it might be work. "Michael?" His voice sounded rough, exhausted. "What do you want?" "I'm in rehab." A pause. "I've been here for 3 weeks. They're making me do this thing where I apologize to people I've hurt. I know you don't want to hear from me. I know you probably never want to hear from me again. But I need to say this." I didn't respond. "I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. I know it doesn't change what I did. But I need you to know that I understand now what I destroyed. You were my father. You were the only father I had after we lost Mom and Dad. And I betrayed you in the worst possible way." Silence. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me. I needed you to know that I see it now. What you sacrificed, what you gave up for me. And I threw it away for..." His voice cracked. "I threw away everything that mattered for something that was never real." "Is that all?" I asked. "Yeah, that's all." "Good luck with your recovery, Chris." I hung up. Later that day, Uncle David called. "Chris reached out to me, said he's in rehab, wants to make amends." "I know, he called me too." "What did you say?" "I told him good luck." David was quiet for a moment. Margaret wants to visit him. I told her no, but she's struggling with it. He's still her nephew. I understand. Do you think... David paused. Do you think there's ever a way back from something like this? I thought about Lily's drawings, about the security footage, about Amanda's face when she threatened me, about Chris saying I was never his father, just a kid playing hero. No, I said, I don't think there is. Six months after everything exploded, Lily and I started therapy together. Dr. Rebecca Hayes specialized in children of divorce. Her office had soft lighting, comfortable chairs, and a corner full of toys where Lily could play while we talked. Lily, Dr. Hayes said during our third session, can you tell me about your drawings? Lily looked at me. I nodded. She pulled out her iPad. I used to draw Mommy and Uncle Chris a lot, she said, because they looked happy together, but Daddy said that's what made him sad. Did that make you feel bad? That your drawings made Daddy sad? Lily nodded, tears filling her eyes. I didn't mean to make Daddy sad. I just drew what I saw. Can I tell you something? Dr. Hayes leaned forward. You didn't do anything wrong. Drawing what you see is brave. Being honest is brave. Your daddy is sad because of choices grown-ups made, not because of you. Really? Really? Lily looked at me. Daddy, is it my fault Uncle Chris left? The question broke something in my chest. I pulled her into my lap. No, sweetheart, no, you didn't make Uncle Chris leave. Uncle Chris left because he made bad choices. You showed me the truth. You saved us. I did. You did. I hugged her tight. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is show people the truth, even when you don't understand what it means. You did that, and I'm so proud of you. She wrapped her small arms around my neck. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, baby, so much. When the session ended, Lily showed me a new drawing she'd made while Dr. Hayes and I talked. Just two figures holding hands under a big yellow sun, me and her. Is this okay? She asked. Is it okay that I didn't draw Mommy or Uncle Chris? I looked at the drawing, simple, clean, honest. Baby, this is perfect. I knelt down to her level. This is our family now, just us, and that's more than enough. She smiled, the first real smile I'd seen from her in months. Can we get ice cream on the way home? We can get whatever you want. 1 year after the Miami trip, 1 year after my world broke apart, I walked into my office Monday morning to find Patricia Reynolds sitting in the conference room reviewing a report. She'd accepted my offer to join the company as VP of Operations, Chris's old position. She was better at it than he ever was. Morning, she said, not looking up from her laptop. The quarterly numbers are in. We're up 12%. That's good. Better than good. She closed the laptop, looked at me. You've rebuilt this place, Michael. It's stronger than it was before. Before? We didn't need to specify before what. My phone rang. Uncle David. I answered. Hey. Michael. His voice sounded strained. I wanted to give you a heads up. Chris called this morning. He's out of rehab. He's been sober for 6 months. He wants to make amends. Asked if he could meet with you. I looked out the window at the city below. Thought about Lily's drawing of just the two of us. Thought about the life we'd built without them. What did you tell him? I told him I'd pass along the message, but Michael, you don't owe him anything. You don't have to. Tell him I hope he finds peace, I said. I really do. But we're not his family anymore. We can't be. Silence on the line. I understand, son, David said finally. I'll tell him. Thank you. After I hung up, I sat there for a moment. Thought about forgiveness, about what it means to let go. I'd let go of the anger months ago. It was too heavy to carry. But letting go of anger doesn't mean inviting someone back into your life. It just means you stop letting them live rent-free in your head. Chris had made his choices. I'd made mine. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Here's the question I couldn't answer that night. If you discover a betrayal, but exposing it will hurt an innocent child, what do you do? There's no right answer. Drop a heart if you've faced an impossible choice like this. That afternoon, I left work early, picked up Lily from school. She ran to me across the parking lot, backpack bouncing, new drawing clutched in her hand. "Daddy, look what I made!" The drawing showed our house, the real one, detailed and careful. In the yard, 2 figures and a golden retriever we'd adopted 3 months ago. Lily had named him Buddy. "This is us," she said, beaming. "You, me, and Buddy. That's our family." I knelt down, hugged her. "That's exactly right, sweetheart. Can we go to the park? We can go anywhere you want." She grabbed my hand, started pulling me toward the car. "Race you!" We ran together across the parking lot, Lily laughing, backpack covered in her new drawings, bright colors, happy scenes, no more secrets hiding in the corners. At the car, she stopped. "Daddy?" "Yeah, baby." "I'm glad it's just us." I pulled her close. "Me too." That night, after Lily went to bed, I stood in my office. The wedding photo was gone from my desk, had been for months. In its place, a drawing Lily had made last week, the 2 of us and Buddy standing in front of our house under a rainbow. My phone buzzed. A text from Aunt Margaret. "David told me about Chris's call. You made the right choice. Some people don't deserve a second chance. Love you." I texted back, "Love you too." Set down my phone, looked at Lily's drawing. Blood doesn't make you family. Loyalty does. Trust does. Showing up does. I'd spent 14 years raising Chris, believing that shared history and DNA meant he'd always be my brother. I'd been wrong. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stands beside you when everything falls apart. It's about who protects the people you love. It's about who earns their place in your life every single day. Chris and Amanda had made their choices. They'd chosen each other, chosen deception, chosen to blow up everything that mattered for something that couldn't last. And I'd made mine. I chose Lily. I chose truth. I chose the family that remained after the betrayal burned everything else away. Some stories don't end with reconciliation. They end with acceptance, with walking away, with building something new from the ashes of what was destroyed. This is that story. I learned something through all of this. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just walking away. If you've ever had to cut someone out of your life, family, friend, partner, and it was the right choice, even though it hurt, I see you. You're stronger than you know. Saturday morning, 1 week later, Lily and I took Buddy to the dog park. She ran ahead with him, throwing a tennis ball, laughing when he brought it back covered in slobber. I sat on a bench, watching, my coffee going cold in my hands. A woman sat down beside me, mid-30s, kind face, watching her own daughter play with a chocolate lab. "Beautiful dog," she said. "Thanks, he's a rescue. We got him a few months ago." "Fresh start?" I looked at her, surprised by the insight. "Something like that." "I get it." She smiled. "Divorced 3 years ago. Just me and Emma now." She nodded toward her daughter. "Some days are hard, but most days are good." "Yeah," I said, watching Lily. "Most days are good." The woman stood, called to her daughter. They waved goodbye and left. Lily ran over, Buddy trailing behind her. "Daddy, can we get lunch?" "Sure. Where do you want to go?" "The place with the good grilled cheese?" "Done." She took my hand. "Daddy?" "Yeah?" "Today is a good day." I looked down at her, 6 years old, resilient, braver than anyone I'd ever known. Today is a very good day. We walked to the car together, me, Lily, and Buddy, our family, small, uncomplicated, whole. Behind us, the park stretched out green and bright in the morning sun. Ahead of us, the rest of our lives. No more lies, no more betrayal, no more watching people we loved choose everything except loyalty. Just us. And that was enough. Family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up. Who stood by you when blood family walked away? Who's your chosen family? Share your story below. You never know who needs to hear that they're not alone. We don't leave, not when it's real.